Hello from Southern Ontario, March 24th. I know a lot of you aren't really interested in what happens in Europe with the rise in populism, and what's going on over there as a whole. But I think it's important because it displays that the people are waking up to what's going on. And the term populist or populism, I mean, in a nutshell, it just means the people think that the government should work for them, listen to them, not the government telling them, the public, what they're going to do. So, anyways, France. The way they protest there makes a lot more sense than sitting around Ottawa in a hot tub, to my way of thinking anyways. Massive garbage strike. They shut the power off, the hydro to the Richies. Stuff like this. Really proactive stuff. Not, again, sitting around in hot tubs singing "Oh Canada." So anyways, the government and the Prime Minister, Macron, I believe is his name, just slid through on a non-confidence vote by like 9 votes out of approximately 290. I mean, he just barely slithered through, dodging a no-confidence vote. But again, I think it's important what's happening. Europe, the countries, I mean, the European Parliament, the EU as a whole, their dollar being unified, the EU currency. It ties the countries together that each one sees and cares more about what's happening in the other countries, their neighboring countries, I'll say, or trading partner countries, whatever you want to think of it as. Makes the populace in one country more attuned to what's happening with the populace and the politics of their neighboring and, again, trading partner countries and whatnot. And we see a rise in the popularity of right-wing politics, or this populism, whatever you want to call it. So that's why I tend to keep an eye on what's happening in Europe. And I think it's important to realize why there's a rise in popular right-wing politics, and realize that I don't see any right-wing extremism here in Canada. That's a term that's used by the woke left. Anything that's right is extreme to them. But anyways, I digress. You'll hear me speak, I'm sure, about what's going on in Europe and some of the countries, as again, I think it's important to us here in Canada. And I'm going to kind of leave aside the banking thing here for the moment in Canada, the digital currency and what the government is or isn't influencing in that. We'll let that come to the surface on its own. I want to get into looking into some of what's happening in some of the South American countries. Brazil, for example. Because I'm curious what's happening there with their left and right politics. My point being, really, that the rise in right-wing populism, right-wing politics, whatever you want to refer to it as, I mean, really, it's a rise against Daddy Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum and friends and the devils in Davos. So I think it is important that we have some idea of what's going on elsewhere in the world. So anyways, good night to you all. Or good morning. It's 4:30 or whatever a.m.